TG Geeks, episode 375, April 25th, 2022. On the mics with us again. Hello and welcome to another webcast from TGGeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of Geek-dom and Nerd-ery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And let's get on with it.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Well, in this episode, it's going to be us chatting again.
Another hostful.
Another hostful of the most full of...
The boastful. Full of the boastful.
Yes. Anyway, as the intro music was playing, I was thinking... Wow, I created that back in when we first started this podcast, and it was a combination of two sounds from what was it, Band Magic or what's the hell?
Oh, Garage Band?
Garage Band.
Band Magic.
Whatever.
More like Band Black Magic.
Oh my God, that program just eats up so much space. I've had to delete it. It was
Garage Black Hole.
Exactly. Anyway, we're gonna have a number of things to chat about.
God, a lot.
Different things that we've been watching, we have read, some newsy items, etc. Then we'll have our birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week, and then we'll have you have a bunch of feedback.
It's a healthy amount of feedback.
Regular shout-outs. In the second segment, we got
more
stuff to talk about. And we're exhausting everything that we can talk about now.
Well, it was a slow news week, too. That didn't help.
Yeah, I looked back at all at my trash folder, and it's like there
was
nothing in there.
Nothing.
And then we have our wacky weekly recap and our regular shout-outs. So let's just get on with it. So you have...
I found this. This just came out today.
This just in.
I wouldn't ask if you want to call it this just in. Of course, most people know by now that Disney Plus has been cranking out some Star Wars series.
Really?
Oh, please. The Mandalorian, there's the Book of Boba Fett, and coming out very shortly...
The Mandalorian?
Stop. We have a lot to get through, please. And then, of course, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is coming out. And a lot of these shows, they've been scored, well, especially the last trilogy movies, had Michael Giacchino, who was like the chameleon of film composers, and has written some stuff that sounded really a lot like John Williams. Well, when it came to writing a theme, and John Williams has written some really great leitmotifs for Star Wars.
I wonder if he went by in his early days of film scoring or TV scoring as Mikey Giacchino.
Oh, Mikey Giacchino?
Johnny Williams.
Yeah, Johnny Williams. You can't do anything with Jerry Goldsmith. He's still Jerry.
Exactly.
But Mikey Giacchino, hey, I think you're onto something there. Anyway, the series creators, they thought, wouldn't it be neat if John Williams could contribute just one more thing? I mean, we know that he did the music for the World of Batuu in the Disney parks. I wonder if he could if he's got something in the gas tank, just one more theme. And they approached him if he could write an Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, which is unusual because he actually had one in the first Star Wars, which would be Episode 4. He had an Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, which then later became the Force theme. So I guess he decided to write a new Obi-Wan Kenobi theme. He agreed to doing it. So what we've got here, and this was reported on comicbook.com, it said that Obi-Wan is a legacy character that John hadn't written a theme for because he died quite early on in A New Hope. Yeah, again, not so. The liner notes in that album soundtrack say otherwise. It's the only legacy character that didn't have one done. So he spoke to Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy and said, I just want to write Benny a theme. Benny Kenobi.
Benny Kenobi.
Hey, it's right up there with Johnny Williams and Mikey G. Kino. It's now Benny Kenobi.
There we go.
So who can deny him that? And John Williams did. He wrote the Obi theme, and it just embodies the spirit of the show entirely. And the producer, Natalie Holt. Oh, Natalie Holt, she composed the music for the majority of the series. She explained that it's reflective and it's just entirely appropriate, and it distills what the show is about in just the perfect way that John Williams can. It's wistful, but there's an element of hope to it. It's doing something new, and I think people are going to be really blown away by it. I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm looking forward to the series anyway, but the idea that John Williams could come back and do another theme, I think it shows a lot of respect for the legacy of this franchise, which I that means more to me than I think pretty much anything else, is when you show respect for the legacy. And I'm just going to leave it right there.
The legacy that is John Williams.
Well, also the legacy of the Star Wars franchise.
The legend that is John Williams.
The legend that is John Williams. True. I mean, he had to buy a new house for all the Academy Awards.
Exactly.
But I will re-emphasize the legacy that is the Star Wars franchise that at least some people like to honor. Oh, did I just say that?
Yeah.
I did.
Was that a little mother-in-law house behind his house that he has for his...
Oh, I'm sure it is, yeah.
Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Well, that is really cool. I can't wait for the
Yeah,
series.
that should be out. I didn't look at the article to see when it's supposed to be out, but I believe it should be out no later than June. But I think May is when it comes out. So I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe in May?
It might be in May.
Might be in May.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on. You just finished reading something really cute.
Yes, I didn't realize it was out, and I had to sit down and read that before we talked about it. And it's The Great Atlantean Battle Royalchemy.
Say that last word again.
Royalchemy.
Royalchemy. You sounded like Craig Stepp there for a moment.
Royalchemy.
Yeah, that's exactly what Craig. Yeah, that's what Craig Stepp would have said. La 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 la. Yeah. It's easy to want to say Royal Alchemy. No, Royalchemy. Yes, this is a new short story that Katie Edwards has penned.
70 pages.
Yes, and
wonderful.
as with all things, this was meant to be a very short story, and it became a novella. Because Katie Edwards does not know how to do anything small.
I don't. Has he truly written any short stories?
No, he never. Well, he did. He wrote this. It was a 4-page treatment about Rune and Brand when they were children.
True.
Which is adorably cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so sweet and adorable, and there's a little element that plays into this short story.
Yeah.
That he just released. But yeah, he can never write anything small,
because
or put it out on time. I'm sorry, Katie. I know you're listening to this, and we love you to death, and we know that you're always late in getting these things out. We have to tease you because we love you a lot, but at the same time, it's going to be good.
It's always going to be good.
It's going to be great.
So much thought into it, and these characters are so alive now that they just literally. You think, oh, I'll do this in like 4, 5, 10 pages, and then it turns into 70 pages.
Well, he talked about how on Twitter...
It just runs away.
Well, he talked about how on Twitter he wanted to write this one chapter that was just between Brand and Max. Rune was not in the room, and it wasn't happening. And Rune kept poking... He kept saying, like, Rune was poking at him, saying, let me in, let me in, let me in. And when he finally let the character of Rune into this one chapter, it flew off the page. I mean, but that's how these characters are now. They are alive, and when you're a devotee to the entire Tarot sequence series of stories, and that includes the Sunken Mall, the scenes from A Quarantine, scenes from the holidays, all of these short stories and the novels, you can see how alive these characters really are,
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it. And I swear to God, I'm convinced that he is or will become before. when the great history book is written of the world, he will be regarded as probably the greatest author of urban fantasy, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
I could go with that.
I absolutely love it. So there it is.
It really was a lot of fun.
And it's free.
It's free. It also takes place before
the Hourglass Throne. Yes.
So there are some interesting things there to see what's happening before the Hourglass Throne. Obviously, we don't want to give any of that.
Yeah, because that comes out.
We've already read it.
Yeah, we've read it, and and the Hourglass Throne comes out next month, much to the anticipation of all of his fans.
Exactly, and I can't wait to see that book come out and see how big it is and how crazy the world goes when it gets released.
I can't wait for Josh Hurley to finally do the audiobook on that. Yes. I mean, because anybody who listened to previous episodes where Josh actually read a segment from the book, and I was in tears. It was beautiful.
The rest of that,
I can't wait to hear him read it.
Scene is
hilarious,
truly incredible,
hilariously
and
funny.
Yes,
I can, and Josh didn't read that part, and that's what I'm waiting to. I might just skip to that chapter just to hear it, before I listen to the entire thing. But yeah, Katie Edwards, the first two books, The Last Son and The Hangman, are available for purchase at all. Where all fine books are available, and his short stories are available for free on his website, kd-edwards.com, I believe.
Yes, kd-edwards.com. If you put it in KD Edwards, it takes you someplace else.
I'm sure it will.
But go to kd-edwards.com for the free stuff. And there's a lot of free stuff.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So check it out.
And also, and some of it is standalone stuff, but I would make a suggestion that you at least read The Last Son if you have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, you have to read it first.
Please search our website for The Last Son. There are probably going to be 8 or so articles that come up, and
2 reviews, one by you, one by me,
and as well as interviews with Katie Edwards.
Lots of interviews with Katie Edwards.
So check it out, and then also check out the what's the second book?
The Hanged Man.
The Hanged Man. And then I think you'll become a fan as well, because it is great writing.
Oh, it's fantastic! In fact, it's somebody on Twitter,
urban fantasy.
Somebody on Twitter earlier today posted on Katie's Twitter feed that I'm just halfway now through your first book. I mean, this poor person, he's been very busy. He's going to college.
Oh my gosh!
He's doing a lot of adult stuff, so he hasn't had the time to pour through the books or get started on it, when the first book came out. But he's halfway through the first book, and he is loving it to no end. And I thought, how lucky for you that you've got this wealth of material ahead of you to enjoy.
Exactly.
I envy that guy.
Absolutely.
Moving on. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This is a new movie by Nicolas Cage. Now,
my God.
The trailer is insane. The Red Band trailer is just bonkers. And I can't wait to see it. Now, by the time we're recording this, we have not seen it yet.
But we are planning to catch an early matinee on Saturday. So hopefully
Sunday, sir.
Yeah, Sunday. 5, sir.
Yeah, 3.
Anyway, Brother Maynard.
Bring out the holy hand grenade. Okay, we've derailed enough.
But
oh my God!
Anyway.
Our listeners are like they're throwing their headphones on the ground.
What the heck is going? Clunk.
Yes,
my favorite part. Just a derailment, but my favorite part in that scene where you see the monks come around in the Bring Out Your Dead scene.
Right. And one smacks himself in the head.
One goes stunk,
whack,
and you see him
stumble.
Yeah,
he hits himself just a little bit too hard.
Anyway, we will have seen this on a Sunday matinees where there's hopefully not too many people.
Hopefully.
That we can escape from.
Because Phoenix is still a little radioactive right now.
Yeah. And so we're excited about seeing this.
And the reviews, like I do too, but the reviews have been very positive, including the one from our own Andrea Richoff. She gave it, I believe, 4.5 out of 5.
Cool.
Either 4 out of maybe 4 out of 5. But she gave it a very good review. Said it was very funny, and I think she even called it self-referential at times.
Oh, I'm sure it is
because Nicolas Cage is sort of
playing himself.
He's basically playing an alternate version of himself. But I think knowing how nuts Nick Cage really is, I can only imagine how crazy that movie's going to be.
Yep. And then we have The Bad Guys.
Oh, this is another movie that Andrea did a review on.
Yeah, it's an animated film.
It's a DreamWorks, and in fact, other reviews have said that this is the movie where DreamWorks has returned to form.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think is interesting. Now, you pulled up a rather lengthy trailer for it.
It's the first 7 minutes of the
I liked it.
Movie, and it's where it's
it's like introducing them.
Yeah, it's great.
I liked it.
It looks fun. I don't know if I'll go out to the theaters to see it, but
I'm not sure. I might wait for that one to hit streaming, home video. But it looks really good.
Yep.
And it's nice to see another studio come up with very solid and well drawn or well animated a feature film.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it could be fun. And then, oh my gosh.
Finally.
Orville, season 3.
Yes.
It's been 3 years.
It has been 3 years. Well, okay, so
But we had a little thing called the Damdemic.
Yeah, the Damdemic got in the way. And we knew... Okay, so this is an article that was on Cinema Blend, and it said, it's been nearly 3 years since we last saw the crew of the Orville in action. But in no time at all, Seth MacFarlane's sci-fi comedy series will be taking off for a new adventure with some familiar and new faces. That's right, the debut of the Orville Season 3 is right around the corner, and we'll soon be flying through the vacuum of space like the past few years were nothing but a very, very strange dream. And a couple of new things. It's got a new subtitle, meaning... Now it's called The Orville New Horizons.
Interesting.
I think that's very interesting. It's going to be on...
That's probably because they separated themselves from Fox.
From Fox, and exactly. Yeah. That's the next detail. This is now on Hulu. It premieres...
Is that
exclusive.
Right?
In fact, other people have been asking if this is going to be on regular television. If it is, maybe in some form of syndication. But right now, this is strictly a Hulu show.
Yeah.
And it will, which means it's a Disney show now, or at least partly Disney, and it will be premiering June 2nd of 2022. It's exclusively on Hulu. It was set to return in March, but it got delayed due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and that's according to a tweet from Treat. Yeah, not a nice treat from Seth MacFarlane. He has been working hard on this. We know that, and he's been tweeting like crazy, or putting all sorts of messages on social media how hard he's been working at trying to get this thing out because the Orville is his baby.
Yeah,
he's very proud of it, and if any indication of the past, especially this last season, I thought saw some unbelievably strong material.
Yeah.
Come out of that series. It was great stuff. Some really good science fiction, and at times I thought it served as a better Star Trek than some of the Star Trek stuff we were saying.
Yes.
So June 2nd, 2022 on Hulu for the new Orville series.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Now, a little thing. How did we discover?
I found this.
You discovered this.
I discovered this. I was just surfing through BritBox.
Yes.
I had gotten an email from them, and they were advertising, some new product or new shows that had come their way, and they showed an ad for one, which we will talk about later in the show. So as I went to BritBox to look for this one particular show, which we will talk about later, I found an ad for this one, and what got my attention was the star, Roger Allam, who more people will probably recognize him from V for Vendetta, as well as Speed Racer.
Exactly.
And this show is called Murder in Provence.
And it's only
it's a 3-episode Agatha Christie story.
Is it Agatha?
It's Agatha Christie. She wrote it. Yes.
I thought that it was. Why didn't they ask Evans? Is the Agatha Christie?
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe that one's Agatha Christie.
This is something.
Oh, you're right. I stand corrected. Yes, the other show
we talked about last week.
Why didn't they ask Evans? That's Agatha Christie. My bad. No, Murder in Provence. That's based on a series of novels.
Right, by somebody else.
I don't know the name.
But Roger Allam and
I can't think of her name, but she's from Father Brown.
Yes.
And I'm right now looking that up. So give me a minute.
The Dr. Brown mysteries.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Father Brown, it was Lady Felicia.
Yeah, she played Lady
Oh,
Felicia.
shoot.
I'm looking her up right now. Wow, she's really way down there on the list.
Oh,
In
just
fact,
look up Murder in Provence.
I'm going to have to because she's not showing up here. Cynthia something,
No.
I thought.
No, it was, shoot.
Is it Keela
Cheryl-
Settle? Keela Settle, maybe?
No.
Well, her character's name is it Maureen? Maureen Bonet?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay, it's Nancy Carroll.
Nancy Carroll. That's who. Yes, Nancy Carroll, who plays Lady Felicia in the Father Brown mysteries. And but Roger Allam, they have such
Good chemistry.
And it's a BritBox original. Everybody in it practically has, a French name, but everybody speaks
They're
with a
all
British
French.
accent.
They're all supposed to be French, and yet they speak with English accents.
Yes.
Which is fascinating.
Fascinating, yes. And there's several Father Brown alum in this.
Yeah, the last episode had another Father Brown. I can't think of the character's name.
Yeah,
he was a master thief and the arch enemy to Father Brown, and he plays a bad guy in the last episode.
Yep.
But what I think was delightful is that there were, especially the first episode, and actually each episode's more like a little mini movie.
Yes.
The first one had some really great snark to it, which made it so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and they're this
They're an unmarried couple.
That have been together for years,
Mm-hmm.
and they act like an old married couple.
Quite.
And everything is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything they talk about is just it's regular life stuff.
The dialogue is like what you would hear out of any old married couple, including us. I mean,
Exactly.
you might hear that kind of, I mean, not the specifics, but the tone.
Yeah. But one of my favorite lines, and this is without giving anything away, is Roger Allam, his character.
Oh my God.
Comes from.
I know where you're going with
comes
this.
from wealth, and he's eschewed that, and it is a judge in the south of France. His mother lives in Paris, and he's on the phone talking to his mother and says, "Yes, mother, I know about the brand new pair of shoes that you just bought, and that you can't find them. You're in Paris. I'm in Provence.
What do you want me to do?
What is it you want me to do?" And it's like, yes, we can identify with that.
Yeah.
We're across town.
We're across town, Mother. What do you want me to do?
My Netflix is not working.
Mom, we're in California. What do you want me to do?
Exactly. I'll just wait till you get back then.
She did that.
I'll just sit here in the dark and die.
You know, she actually did say that. Well, she didn't say and die, but she said, "Oh, I've got books to read."
Oh, I'll just sit here.
Yeah, so this has turned into a therapy session, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but Murder in Provence borrows on a lot of realism,
Yep.
which is why that show was so much fun to watch.
Exactly.
And to see
just
these
real life
these
stuff.
wonderful
It's
two
like, oh my
actors
God.
work together was a joy. I greatly loved it.
The only thing is that Nancy Carroll doesn't scream in this thing.
I know.
And she was famous in Father Brown.
For her screams.
For her scream. It's Lady Felicia.
Yeah, she was great on those.
And let's leave this one
For
till
later?
another time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're done with the first segment then.
So there we are.
Hey, I'm actor, podcaster, and filmmaker Michael Chan, and you are listening to The Two Gay Geeks.
I've tormented my husband long enough now.
Thank you.
Here's a few selected birthdays for April 25th through May 1st, 2022. Hank Azaria on April 25th. from Birdcage. He was.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, he was brilliant.
As
Agadar
Spartacus.
Exactly. And he has done voiceover.
Oh, his voices are brilliant.
I mean, my gosh, he's done voiceover for everything.
Especially
Especially The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
He's done like 150 characters.
I would say it's over 100 voices that he's done for The Simpsons, I think.
Yep. He said that his character in Birdcage is based on his grandmother's speech patterns. So
Of course it is.
Yep. And he has 3 homes in the Hollywood area.
Oh,
One in Bel Air and one in a little neighborhood in Hollywood, and then one in the Hollywood Hills. So
must be nice.
I know, must be nice to shuttle back between, those 3 homes.
God, I would love to
live in the Hollywood
Hills. We've driven through the Hollywood Hills numerous times. I would love to live there.
Yep. Ella Fitzgerald, singer. Oh, I adore her.
Oh,
she is
a voice of velvet.
recorded over 200 albums.
200?
200.
Hokey smokes, Bullwinkle. She's amazing.
Yep. Her renditions of Gershwin and Cole Porter songs were phenomenal. She was one of the great jazz and scat singers of her time.
And that was sort of that's something she adopted kind of later because she originally crooned.
Yep. She was a close friend of Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Used her influence to get Ella into exclusive upscale nightclubs.
Oh, really?
They were still segregated.
Oh, good for her.
And she is one of the 4 great jazz singers of her era. The others being Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, and Carmen McRae.
My mother saw her live in New York City, and she got there early enough, and somehow I guess she saw Ella before the show started and just said, or made mention that there's this one song that she sang that she utterly adored, and then Ella took the stage and then dedicated it to my mom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many of her songs. I love to listen. When we drive to L.A., we'll listen to the several
like the Gershwin songbook.
Yeah, that are strung together, and it's just wonderful. And then we have Peter Jurasik,
Jurasik, I think,
actor. I'm stunning and Perthball. Dunk.
Yes, that's one of his funniest moments.
Character actor in many TV series and TV movies. Tron was one of his first non-TV movies.
Exactly. Yep. Where he got to act. Well, he never acted with Bruce Boxleitner on that, but how fun that they got to be in the same movie.
Exactly.
And then later.
And then Babylon 5 was
exactly.
a great triumph for him.
Oh
my gosh.
He owned that series.
Yep. And was close friends with Andreas Katsoulis. And they would stay in character between takes and do crazy stuff.
We have a video.
Like record a promo for the Book of Jakar. We're going to
as a Christmas present. The link will be in the show notes.
The link will be in the show notes, and they were great together.
And I think that their friendship in real life shows in the amazing chemistry they had on screen together, whether it was antagonistic or just friendly jibes.
Yep. And I think, wasn't it, it was said that they never had to do more than a couple of takes with them because they had such good chemistry that it was always right.
I hadn't heard that, but I will accept that. That does not necessarily surprise me.
Yeah. So they were just...
They were fabulous.
And to see the two of them act... And to see throughout the series the way the two characters switched personalities.
Yes, one was light. Straczynski described it once. I'm not going to try and repeat it because I can't remember it. But yeah, basically one was light, one was dark, and then they they swapped midway through.
Yep.
The way it was done was so amazing.
Yep. And then there was obviously redemption at the end.
Yes.
For both.
Yep.
April 26th, I Am Pei.
You are?
Yes. Chinese-American architect, known for several high-profile buildings, such as the Kennedy Library, the Dallas City Hall, the Dallas Symphony Hall, and the Glass and Steel Pyramid at the Louvre.
Okay.
Many others.
Well, now I feel like we need to go to Dallas just to see those two that you mentioned.
Exactly. He died at 102.
Holy
in
smokes!
2019.
Wow.
Yeah, he was quite the architect. Carol Burnett, actress, comedian, had her own show for years.
Yes.
But not that many years. There were two instances of it, and one was 79 episodes, and the other one was 30 some odd episodes.
Oh, really?
So
yet it felt like it was this institution of CBS, that was on for decades.
I know. It was just on forever.
Well,
it seemed like.
Doesn't that speak to the quality of the show?
Exactly. Many guest stars. Oh my gosh, and lampooning those guest stars and lampooning other people, in the show, and the regulars, Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, Vicki Lawrence, as well as many others. And she had many guest appearances in TV shows and movies throughout her career, and was good friends with Lucille Ball. And when they met, as she was acting with Lucille Ball, and it was in the Lucy Show. I
Really?
think it was. And Lucy asked her and offered her a Desilu Productions sitcom that she turned down because she thought she should do a variety show, which she wound up doing.
She wound up doing and was brilliant.
Yes. And famously won a libel suit against the National Enquirer.
Yep. It was not a lot of money, but it was a very good symbolic victory for her.
Yeah, it was because apparently, and she was probably being a buffoon when she met Henry Kissinger in a restaurant, and the National Enquirer said that she was drunk.
Right. It was a defamation of character.
Yes, and she won that because she said, I grew up with two raging alcoholics, and I swore that I would not be drinking.
Right.
And, obviously.
So it was a matter of principle for her.
Because she's diabetic,
right.
too. So.
But it was a matter of principle for her
Exactly.
and it was not a lot of money, but she got the symbolic victory. And
well, it was an unprecedented amount for when she won it. It was $1.7 million.
Was it?
Eventually reduced. But,
yeah.
She donated all the proceeds from that suit to charity. So, then we have Arno Allen Penzias, physicist and researcher for Bell Labs. He and Robert Wilson discovered through their work on radio astronomy receivers there was some background noise, and they eventually determined, with help from others, that this noise was CMB, the cosmic microwave background radiation left over from the Big Bang. So without that, it'd still be out there wandering around. Who knows?
I remember seeing them in a science show that we watched a number of years back, where it talked about their efforts.
Yep. And then we have friends J. Scott Coatsworth, who is an author himself, and Scotty Roughgarden, and my uncle Jim O'Neill, who recently passed away. Happy birthday, Uncle Jim. April 27th, Russell T. Davies. Writer,
RTD.
Director, showrunner, Doctor Who, Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, among other British TV, Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk.
And just, all kinds of things.
And he's coming back to Doctor Who.
Yep.
It will be interesting to see what he does with the franchise when he returns.
Exactly. And then we have Samuel Morse, painter and inventor. He was an accomplished painter into his middle years with paintings of the Marquis de Lafayette. It was the famous painting of Marquis de Lafayette with the statue and the flowing cape and all of that. And then also a portrait of John Adams when he was an older man, and then James Monroe. He also took up photography after meeting Louis Daguerre in Paris in 1839. And kind of brought photography over to the United States. And Matthew Brady, one of the earliest American photographers, studied under him and became a world famous photographer. And at age 59, he had seen some demonstrations of electromagnetics. He put his painting aside and invented the single wire telegraph. as well as the Morse code, which is still used today. And he had some rather controversial political views as we would view them today, but probably due to his upbringing that he just never escaped. So we'll just leave it at that. You can look him up if you wish. Wallace Carothers, chemist and inventor. Leader of organic chemistry at DuPont, where he invented nylon and laid the groundwork for neoprene and, of all things, polyester. And all of this in the 1930s.
Wow.
April 28th, Terry Pratchett, author and humorist, famous for his Discworld novels, among others. And I didn't realize this about him. In the 90s, he had sold over 85 million books in 37 languages.
Whoa.
And in 2007 was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh, no.
And even filmed a television program about his experience. Was a patron of the Alzheimer's research, and sadly he died at the age of 66.
Oh, God, that's too young.
In 2015.
Too young.
From Alzheimer's, the effects of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
It's just sad. Oskar Schindler, industrialist during World War II, who is credited with saving over 1,200 Jews through his dealing with the Nazis in occupied Poland. The movie Schindler's List, produced by Steven Spielberg, is a wonderful film, albeit
it's hard to watch.
A tearjerker.
It is. It's a tearjerker.
Yep. I can only watch it once every 10 years.
I know. It's just, very hard to watch.
It's so heavy.
It's a beautiful movie. It's
a
magnificent,
beautiful film.
But it's very hard to watch.
Yep. And then we have Madge Sinclair,
actress.
She was in Roots. She was in Ernestine Shoof in Trapper John M.D.
Oh, really?
And virtually every episode of that. And during that time that she was filming Trapper John, she was diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was in Coming to America and Lion King and Star Trek V as the Saratoga captain. Next Gen as Captain Silva LaForge.
Actually, Star Trek 5, I think you mean Star Trek 4.
4?
Yes.
I thought it was 5.
No.
4.
4. In the Voyage Home, yeah.
Yeah, 4. Okay. I forgot my I there. And Captain Silva LaForge, who also starred with LeVar Burton. In Roots.
Of course.
But she was his mother in this episode of Next Gen. She died after a 13-year battle with leukemia.
Oh, my
she
goodness.
Did all of these other things after Trapper John.
God
and
bless
just,
her.
Fighting leukemia the whole way.
That's amazing.
Yep. Then we have friend of ours, Jordan Blazak and Jeff Patton, 2 filmmakers.
Indie filmmakers.
Yes. April 29th, Kate Mulgrew, actress, a very long TV career. Oh my gosh. Ryan's Hope,
That's how I first saw her.
421 episodes.
That's how I was introduced to her and fell
Lord.
in love with her.
Voyager as Captain Janeway. Prodigy as Admiral Janeway.
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black and Warehouse 13. Good friends with John Delancey, so they must have.
Oh, the chemistry in Voyager is there.
With him in Voyager is wonderful. It's
I'm
another one of those Bride of Chaotica, that episode where Q comes and she's just it's so melodramatic. It's so soap opera-ish.
I'm hopeful that we'll get to meet her sometime soon.
Hopefully.
I mean, because I know that there's supposed to be a big premiere for the Voyager documentary at the end of the year. And we've got special perks for that one. So I'm hoping that we might get to at least say hi to her.
Yep. Carney Wilson, actress, singer, daughter of Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. She was in a couple of things, Bridesmaids and that 70s show, and formed a group with her sisters, Wilson Phillips.
Right.
April 30th, Gal Gadot, actress, Wonder Woman, among many other films. Recently, Death on the Nile. She has 6 projects filming or in pre-production right now.
Oh, good.
And while filming Wonder Woman 84, visited a children's hospital, I'm sure in full gear.
She probably did it in gear.
Yep. It was just wonderful. Cloris Leachman, actress. Oh my God.
Love her.
A career spanning almost 75 years.
This is another brilliant actor.
And another of those characters that was in everything on TV in the 60s and 70s. Everything.
She had her
literally.
own series, in fact, at one time called
Yep.
Phyllis.
And who can forget Frau Blucher
Man.
in Young Frankenstein? And we recently posted a press release for Jump, Darling.
Yes.
That she filmed and was released just before she died at age 94. Oh my God.
She was amazing.
Just a force of nature. Eve Arden.
Another one that I just love.
Actress from the golden age of Hollywood that kept acting into her later years. Husky-voiced actress who always had one of those faces that could go from bepuzzlement to come have some tea, darling, and dish. You know, one of my favorite photos of her is her holding a teacup and that face that just says, okay, out with it. You know?
If memory serves, she was the co-star of a series called The In-Laws, I think.
I don't know.
I'll have to double check that.
I didn't see that. I just was.
It was a hilarious TV show that I just loved it to death. I think yes, she was in that. It was a great sitcom that was out in like the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Very funny show. And she was brilliant in that.
And then we have a friend of ours, Jarrett Logan Porter, who is an opera singer. And then May 1st, Joanna Lumley.
Oh, another one I
actress,
love.
Bond girl / English girl in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Absolutely fabulous, and was in Corpse Bride, just to name a few.
Right.
She was Everglot.
Mm-hmm. And you did say former Bond girl?
Yes.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and it's nice to see her sort of lampoon her supermodel days in Absolutely Fabulous.
Exactly. And then we close up with Judy Collins, actress, singer, most known for her rendition of Send in the Clowns, a song that is beautiful on its own, but doesn't seem to make much sense.
Doesn't mean anything unless you watch.
Unless you have seen A Little Night Music by Stephen Sondheim, which we saw a month or so ago. And it's
then it's like, now I get it.
Oh my God, the song actually, I understand now.
Now I get it.
I understand.
I know what it means now.
I am in the know. Yeah, and that's it for the birthdays this time.
Hey, this is Michael Chan from Star Trek Discovery, and did you know I am the co-host of the Hellbound Podcast? Did you really need to tell everyone that you're from Star Trek Discovery? Oh, hey, Vampire Michael Chan doppelganger. Listen, all you need to say is that it is a podcast about all things horror, and it releases a new episode every Wednesday on all major podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcast. Well, if you're so smart, why don't you do this? Well, maybe I will. Actually, I think you just did. Oh, I guess I did. Huh.
Go give a listen to the Hellbound Podcast with Michael Chan over at any place that you find other podcasts, where other fine podcasts can be found.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counselors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
We want to give a shout out, as always, to the Joshua Tree Feeding Program, a 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. Joshua Tree offers a place where clients can select from a wide assortment of nutritional foods to take home, and they set it up like a store so that the clients can pick and choose what food they prefer, and it empowers the clients, and no food is wasted. They have a second distribution day for the gender nonconforming community that may be experiencing food insecurity, regardless of HIV status. They're an all-volunteer organization, and they could certainly use your help. If you want to give a single gift or a monthly recurring gift, you can go to jtfp.org.
And it's time for our feedback. These are comments that we received in response to articles and episodes that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com and through all social media. And the links for each of these articles and episodes will be in the show notes for this episode article number 375 at tggeeks.com, starting with regarding TG Geeks episode number 370, where we interviewed author Zachary Wheeler. We got a comment from good friend Patricia Chica. She simply says, keep up the good work. Moving on, regarding Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Keith Levesque. Got a comment from Keith on Instagram. He says, cheers, thank you very much. And then regarding TG Geeks episode number 371, where we interviewed Michael Chan, who you just heard his promo from.
Imagine that.
He says, more exciting news. My interview on the TG Geeks Webcast podcast has just been released. I'm a huge fan of Ben and Keith's work, and it was just an honor to be invited onto their show. I had an absolutely lovely time and hope you'll all enjoy the episode.
We loved it.
We loved it,
and we enjoyed our conversation with you too, Michael.
God, yes. Then we got a comment from Hamish Downey, who says, my connections mostly come from my years of filmmaking in Tokyo or filmmakers posting on Reddit, Twitter, or Facebook, and me offering to interview them. The more indie creators I know, the more people I meet via people sharing their friends' work. Some of the biggest names I've gotten were people who I didn't know were so big. It was just me asking them. Connecting people is one of my skills, and I enjoy doing it. What a great episode. Michael Chan, you did amazing. And then Michael came back with another comment saying, "Aw, thanks, but really it was all Ben and Keith and their amazing interview skills." And he gave us a 100% after that. And then got a comment from Kat Forrest, who she's worked with Pia Thrasher, and she leaves this comment. "I'm watching Unknown Origins about superheroes, dedicated to you. Look it up. You will love it. From Spain, I think." Okay. Moving on. Got a comment from, not a comment. It's regarding Andrea's angle, Mothering Sunday, impeccable acting, disjointed story. We got a very amusing bit of feedback from Arkle. He left this for us on Instagram saying, Film Brain, the YouTuber who inspired my show, learned the hard way that just because a movie has mother in the title doesn't make it a good movie to take your mom to. Laugh out loud. I am told it was quite awkward.
I guess so.
I can only imagine. And going on, regarding Carmen, the graphic novel Kickstarter now available. It was funny, wasn't it? We got a comment from Arizona Opera. They left this for us on Instagram saying thank you for sharing. And we close this off regarding The Rise of Gru in theaters July 1st. We got a comment from Hicks, Michael Hickerson, who says, please, no more delays. My little girl really wants to see this. Daddy is equally excited. And I got to watch one of those, Gru movies. I can't think of what the name of the franchise is. Minions. Well, not just Minions, but also the lead character. The bad guy.
Gru.
Is that his name?
Yep.
Okay. And I saw one of them.
I am Gru.
Yeah, right. I saw one of them on the plane. We were flying somewhere, and I got to catch a little glimpse of it on the screen as we were flying, and it was really funny. So I think I might need to break down and actually watch all of these. Anyway, that is our feedback.
And if you want to leave a comment on anything that we publish, whether it's on our episodes or on any of our articles, you can do that at tggeeks.com. You can log into our Facebook page or go to our Facebook page, TG Squared Studios, and you can comment there. You can comment on our YouTube episodes for the episode. Hello. I've lost my train of thought. Go to our YouTube channel for our YouTube episodes where you can comment on those episodes. You can also comment on Twitter and Instagram and wherever else you find us. And we want to hear from you. You are important to us. If you feel like it, we have a listener feedback line, and you can call that and leave us a voicemail. Call 469-TG Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice.
For more than 2 decades, Judy and Dennis Shepard have honored their son Matt by working to erase hate around the world. The Matthew Shepard Foundation honors his legacy by inspiring the good work of activists, teachers, artists, and legislators, and everyday LGBTQ+ folks and their allies. Join us today in helping to erase hate. Visit MatthewShepard.org.
Thanks, Comcast, NBC, Universal, for that promo. Well, as everybody knows, we are huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. If you see any independent filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, other things at local cons, book fairs, etc., on their web pages, wherever you see them, chat them up. Chat other people up about their stuff. Look at their stuff. Buy their stuff. Did I say buy their stuff?
Yes.
Yes. Support independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Well, we just got
You got to fly through this.
Got a minute or two that we can talk about stuff, and all this is spoiler free.
No, we did make mention of Death on the Nile.
Yes,
and we did finally get to watch that. Interesting. I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought the production was gloriously beautiful. Beautiful to watch. I didn't care for the story. There were some interesting changes that were made. Some I liked, some I did not. But it was very pretty to look at.
Yep, exactly. And then we've been watching Moon Knight.
Oh my God,
I'm fascinated. I'm
really fascinated.
It really it is just fascinating. I like the way
it's dark.
It is. He has to play 2 characters.
Well, actually, I think he's going to play 3.
3 characters.
Actually, can we take it back? I think he's going to play 4 before this is all over,
anyway.
And that's including the Moon Knight hero.
Yeah. And so we'll just leave it at that. As I said, spoiler free. Julia is
what a delight.
Delightful.
That's
just
a delight.
Delightful. And then the end game.
We've been watching this one regularly.
Oh my gosh. We're
fascinating. We just
the last episode.
Possibly. I think we had either episode 5 or 6 just last week.
Yep. And then Picard.
Oh,
That's
wow.
winding up, and it's
it's got 2 episodes left, and how they're going to pull this one out of the fires, I have no idea.
Yeah. And then Slow Horses.
Oh, this has been what? Wow! I'm glad I stumbled on this one. This is another Apple TV series,
ride.
And it was the presence of Gary Oldman that convinced me to watch it because I love Gary Oldman.
Yep. And I think we're going to leave
Just
our
leave it at
second
that.
segment at that.
And it's time for our weekly review. These are items that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com this past week, and the links for each of these articles will be in the show notes for this episode article number 375 that you can find at tggeeks.com. Starting with Sunday, April 17th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 96. Wow, closing in on 100 there.
Yep.
On Monday the 18th, TG Geeks episode number 374. Guess what? We're starting to close in on 400.
I know.
On Tuesday the 19th, and before I give this, I just want to say, Andrea, you were a dynamo this past week.
Yep.
But by the time she was done with it, she admitted to me that she was kind of burned out. So check this out. Tuesday the 19th, Andrea's Angle, The Northman, epic Viking drama. On Wednesday the 20th, Andrea's Angle, The Bad Guys, hilarious heist film. On Thursday the 21st, Andrea's Angle, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, over-the-top cheesy fun. That's why Andrea got burned out. Andrea, you're getting a reprieve this week. No movie not on our schedule at least, not that I know of. I think you're getting a break, so enjoy it. You earned it. On Friday the 22nd, Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Calvin Zimmerman, and on Saturday the 23rd, I love this one, Dixney. Oh
Dixney
Jesus,
and Bizarres.
Dixney and Pizzars. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Disney.
We have created 2 new companies.
Yeah, Dixney. I want to go to that Dixney park, Ma. I can't believe I just did that. Disney and Pixar's Lightyear blasts off in theaters June 17th.
And you can find all of these things at tggeeks.com.
Pa, can we go to Dixney? I'm going to be kicked off the air for doing that last one there. Jeez. So we have some shout-outs that we need to make. First to Arkle. You heard feedback from him a little bit earlier. He's also known as Brian Weber. He's on Twitter referred to as Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber. And he has his Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News. To find the Post-Dispatch News, which does republish some of our content from time to time, you need to find him on Twitter. And the best way to do that is to search for Geek of All Trades. That is at the letter G, the number 3, the letter K of All Trades. And while you're looking for all things Arkle, go to his YouTube channel. It'd be youtube.com/Arkle Studios. Brian has a number of projects there. He has a Shameless Cash Grab series, which is in season 7. His Rants vs. Zombies series. Yes, it is over, but past episodes are still there. He has his game videos of Trick and Treat, as well as Star Trek Online, and he also has Arkle tier ranks there. And we also have to give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Have to give big thanks to the moderators for saying that we could share away our content there. And their web address is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. That's all one word. And then to The Gay Geek for pretty much the same. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. And as always, we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
And we can be found in all places where you can find podcasts, such as Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays for replay. Listen to their other content. They're a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have several links, including the link to the Book of Jakar. It's kind of a crappy
it's not a good video quality.
But it's there.
Christmas shopping on Babylon 5.
And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. Peace.
Cheers, Ma.